Hola, muy buenas tardes. Alesia, Ángela, Casandro, Dani, Diana, Fer, Fiorella. Muy buenas tardes a los que están ingresando. Y bien, felicidades por estar puntual en la salita. Bien, vamos a dar inicio con la pequeña presentación. Les comento que nosotros, la institución se encuentra ubicado en Perú, en la región de Apurímac, en la ciudad o la provincia de Andahuaylas. A ver si pueden comentar desde dónde están llevando el curso. Muy buenas tardes, Andrew. Muy buenas tardes, Diana. Bien, también comentarles que nuestra institución ya cuenta con más de 7 años de experiencia orientada a ofrecer educación virtual gratuita de alta calidad a nivel nacional e internacional. Bien, también les presento al equipo el tecnológico, el cual está conformado por docentes, personal administrativo, entre ellos los asistentes académicos y demás, ¿no? Excelente, Silvia. Bien, si desean conocer más acerca de la institución, les invito a que nos sigan a través de las redes sociales. Nos pueden encontrar en Facebook, en YouTube, en TikTok, también en Instagram, ¿no? Nosotros estamos publicando contenido diariamente. Y de igual forma, si quieren saber más acerca de los cursos, por este medio, que es el Facebook, van a poder encontrar mayor información, ¿no? Y en cuánto tiempo se están aperturando los cursos. Bien, también les quiero invitar a los cursos que se están aperturando para el 6 de enero. Entre ellos tenemos inglés nivel básico A1, inglés nivel intermedio B1, entre otros cursos. Si desean más información acerca de estos cursos, nos pueden escribir al siguiente número, que es el 979-483728, o en todo caso, a mi número, ¿no? Que está en el grupo de WhatsApp. Bien, me presento, mi nombre es Maribel Yauris, soy asistente académica del curso. Si tienen alguna duda o consulta, me pueden escribir al siguiente número, que es el 914-767009. Bien, de igual forma quiero presentarles al docente, el profesor Ángel Dionisio, quien va a estar encargado del curso de inglés nivel avanzado C1. Bien, en cuanto a la frecuencia del curso, son los días sábados, en el horario de 4 a 5:30 de la tarde, con una duración de 4 semanas. Se está iniciando el día de hoy, sábado 4 de enero, ¿no? Bien, en cuanto al temario, el curso tiene 4 sesiones académicas y el día de hoy se va a desarrollar la sesión número 1, el cual es de Present Perfect, ¿no? Muy buenas tardes, Joana. Aquí, ¿dónde queda el lugar? Bien, en cuanto a la metodología de trabajo, las clases son a través de mí, con materiales totalmente didácticos, ¿no? A través del grupo se va a mandar el material de la clase, el link de la clase y también el examen final. Bien, en cuanto al certificado, va a salir con mención en inglés nivel básico C1, ¿no? Con una certificación de 50 horas, y para aquellos que quieren obtenerla deben sacar una nota mayor o igual a 14. El costo es de 40 soles y el trámite es opcional. Bien, en cuanto a los convenios de cooperación, la institución cuenta con diversos convenios. Entre ellas se tiene, por ejemplo, con la Municipalidad de Turpo, con la Municipalidad de San Jerónimo, la Municipalidad del Centro Poblado de Chumbo, ¿no? Y entre otros convenios de cooperación. Bien, para finalizar, vamos a realizar una pequeña oración y dice así. Bien, querido Padre, gracias por la salud, gracias por todos los participantes, gracias por todo aquello que nos rodea, por los familiares, por los amigos, por los participantes y por esta oportunidad que se nos está brindando en la institución. Queremos siempre que estés a nuestro lado y escuches nuestras peticiones. Te lo pedimos, Padre, y también cuida de todos los participantes. Amén. Bien, Ahora sí, estimados participantes, le voy a dar pase al docente para que pueda iniciar con la sesión académica del TV. Bien, cantador, muy buenas tardes. Un momento, por favor, ahorita le voy a dar pase. Bien, muy buenas tardes, querido docente. Ya puede iniciar con la sesión académica. Le doy el pase.
Muchísimas gracias por el pase. Muy buenas tardes con todos, estimados estudiantes. Permítanme presentarme. Soy el docente Ángel Dionisio, soy contador público y estaré a cargo del curso de inglés avanzado, el C1 de inglés. ¿Podrían confirmarme, por favor, en el chat si me logran escuchar bien? 10 de 10. ¿Todo en orden, por favor? ¿Sí? ¿Me logran oír perfectamente, claramente? Perfecto. Muy bien. Entonces, asumo que este grupo está un poco dirigido a estudiantes con un nivel intermedio avanzado, entonces vamos a trabajar de plano en esta sesión. Okay? So, one more time, let me do this in English. Let me introduce myself. I am Ángel Dionisio, and I am going to be your English teacher. Okay? For this lesson, today we are going to work with present perfect. This topic is related to a C1 level. A C1 level is the highest level possible in English. Okay, so I am going to need all your attention. Let's start with today's class. Let's start with today's session. And today we are going to work with a very interesting topic, the present perfect. Okay, today we are going to work with a present perfect. I remember that when I was a student, maybe the present perfect was one of the most difficult topics in when we have to learn, okay? Yo recuerdo que cuando tenía que aprender el present perfect, para mí era un dolor de muelas, era un poco difícil por las estructuras gramaticales que se manejan, por el vocabulario que se tiene que utilizar. Entonces, el día de hoy vamos a hacer un pequeño review con respecto a este tema. ¿Ok? Muy bien, chicos. ¿Les parece si lo manejo de esta forma? ¿Inglés-español o full English? ¿Cómo se sienten más cómodos? A ver en el chat. Mucho gusto con los que se están conectando recién. Mucho gusto, mucho gusto. ¿Cómo lo manejamos? ¿En English? Full English. Okay, perfect, perfect. No problem. Full English. Perfect. So let's talk about the review. Okay, let's talk about the review. Today we are going to talk about the present perfect. And first of all, we have to know what is the present perfect. Okay, what is the present perfect? We are going to use the present perfect to talk about experiences. Okay, we are going to talk about something that we did in the past, and maybe we continue doing that action in the present. And that is very confusing, right? Because we don't have that kind of time tense in Spanish. So first of all, what we have to know, what we have to understand first is that there are many time tenses in English. Here we have present simple. Here we have past simple, present continuous, past continuous. And each time tense has its own structure, and we have to know the structure. For example, the present simple is to talk about daily routines. The past simple is to talk about things that we did in the past. The present perfect is used to talk about things that we did in the past and maybe we continue doing it in the present. And that's why sometimes this topic can be a little difficult to learn. But in today's lesson, I am going to try to teach as much or as good as I can in order that you can understand everything. Okay? First of all, as all the structures in English, we have to know that the present perfect has three possible forms: the positive form, the negative form, and the interrogative form or the question, right? So How is this time tense made? Very easy. Here we have all the pronouns. Okay, the pronouns. Guys, can you send the pronouns to the chat? What are the pronouns in English? In the chat, please, can you help me? What are the pronouns in English? For example, I, you. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Freya, thank you. Now, very good. Silvia, thank you. Thank you. Hector, very good. So here we have I, you, they, we, he, she, it. Okay? Those are all the pronouns that we have in English. So first of all, we have to work with two possible auxiliaries. Okay, these auxiliaries can be have or it can be has. Okay, teacher, when am I supposed to use have? When am I supposed to use has? Very easy. Every time you work with he, she, and it, what do you think is the correct answer? Has or have? He, she, it. Very good. We are going to work with has. Has. Okay. And teacher, what about the other pronouns? For example, I, you, they, and we. Okay, what is the auxiliary that we are going to use with these pronouns, guys, girls? Perfect. That's it. Okay, that's it. That is the only thing that you have to know. Teacher, is it correct to say I has? What do you think? Yes or no? No, it's impossible. It's impossible. Teacher, is it correct to say he have? No, teacher, it's not correct. It's impossible. Okay, so what is the other thing that we have to know? We already learned that we are going to work with a pronoun or the subject of the sentence. We can use I, you, he, she, my mom, my father, my teacher, my brothers, the university, el tecnológico, I don't know, any subject that you can work with. And then you have to check what is the correct auxiliary that you need to work with that subject. As I said, it's not correct to say, for example, I has. No. He have. No. Always, I am going to say he has, she has, it has. And I am going to use have with the other pronouns. I have, you have, they have, we have. Okay, teacher, I can understand that. First of all, let me show you something. Wait a minute, please. Okay. Right now, I am going to share with you a very easy questionnaire. Okay, I am going to share a very easy questionnaire where the objective for this questionnaire is that you have to identify what is the correct auxiliary. I don't know, maybe the correct auxiliary is have, or maybe the correct auxiliary is has. I'm sharing with you the link here in the chat box, please. I don't know where is the chat box, here. Okay. Click on this and please write your names and last names, or only your names. Okay, no, come on guys, let's work with this. Let's work with this. Okay, are you ready? Come on, come on. According to my Meet recording, you are 76 students. So I need 76 students in the quiz. Okay, let's play the quiz. Let's play the quiz. Come on, guys. Come on, girls. Faster, faster. Come on, let's practice this. Okay, let's start with this quiz. Okay, yes. Wow, oh my gosh, congratulations. Very good, very good, very good, very good. I really like it. So you already showed me that you can identify the correct auxiliary without any problems. That is excellent. So let's continue to the next step. Okay, teacher, you already told us that we have to work with a subject and then the auxiliary. Okay, for the present perfect tense, we have to work with a past participle of the verb. Okay, not present simple, not past simple, past participle. Okay, we are going to work with the past participle of the verbs. Okay, teacher, and what is the past participle of the verbs? Very good question. I am asking myself. We have to know that there are two big groups of verbs in English. Okay, two big groups of verbs in English. Regular verbs and irregular verbs. Okay, those are the only two the only two groups of verbs that exist in English. Regular verbs and irregular verbs. What is the good thing about working with regular verbs? It is that all the past participle forms of the regular verbs always finished in ed. Okay? Can you notice this, guys, girls? Played, talked, opened, watched, worked, cleaned, etc., etc. So why do we call them regular verbs? Because in their past simple form and in its past participle form, these verbs always finish in ed. Played, talked, open. Guys, can you send an example of a regular verb here in the chat box, please? In the chat box, please, guys, girls. Could you send a example of a regular verb? Thank you. Now, cooked, another. Thank you, Shayla. Thank you, David. Very good. Hector, very good, very good. So how can I identify a regular verb? Very easy, because all regular verbs finish in ed. Lourdes, do you have a question, miss? I think that I can't Wait a minute. Wait a minute, please. Wait a minute, please, guys, girls. Perfect. Finished, danced, washed, walked. Dusting, sing is not a regular verb. Sing is not a regular verb. How can I identify a regular verb? As I told you, every time we work with a regular verb, this verb finishes in ed. Always, all the time. Okay? And teacher, what about irregular verbs? What about irregular verbs? Okay, because its name, irregular, these verb are these verbs are very diversive. Okay, they have different endings, they have different structures, they have different pronunciations. That's why we call them irregular verbs. For example, and these guys, this, for example, the first word or the first verb, this is, wait a minute. Okay, perfect. This is the past simple form of the verb eat, right? Very good. Thank you, Nancy. This is the past simple form of the verb eat. And we know that if we are working with an irregular verb, the past participle of these verbs sometimes are very different. How so, teacher? Guys, girls, can you help me? What is the past participle form of the verb eat? Do you know it? Eaten. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let's continue with the next verb. This is the past simple form of which verb? Went. Go. Very good. Go is the base form of this verb. Went is the past simple form. And what about the past participle? What is the past participle of go? Gone. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Let's continue. What is the base form of the verb took? What is the base form of the verb took? The base form, the present simple form. Take, right? Take. Take is the present simple form. Took is the past simple form. And what is the past participle form of the verb take? Taken. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Very good. Okay. So why do we call them irregular verbs? Because they have different structures, they have different endings, they have different pronunciations. For example, what is the base form of the verb ran? Okay, and what is the past participle? And what is the past participle? It's the same. It's the same. Run, run. And that's it. That's it. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. I really like it. Very good. Oh, okay, okay, Lourdes. I am going to try to use some Spanish. Okay, I am going to try to use some Spanish because this class is, according to what El Tecnológico told me, is English C1, and C1 English is for an advanced level. Okay, but I am going to try to explain this in Spanish, some points in Spanish. Okay, perfect. Estamos trabajando. Yes, I know it. I know it, Wendy, but I don't know what is going on. Yes, it's level C1. So, okay, maybe Lourdes, if you have any doubts, try to contact the administration side of El Tecnológico, and maybe they can um, guide you to a level that is it's more for the level that you have, because C1 level is a very advanced level. Okay, so try to pay attention. I am going to make very easy tasks. I am going to work with very easy quizzes in order to make it easier for you to understand. Okay, perfect. So one more time, talking about the present perfect. We already have the subject or the pronoun. We already have the auxiliary, have or has. And then we have to work with the past participle form of the verb. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Okay. There is a course that belongs to B1 level, Lourdes. I recommend you and me, Miss Maribel, please. I don't know if you can give this advice to some students that maybe don't have the necessary level to be here, because you know this is a very advanced level. C1 is a very advanced level. B1 is a intermediate basic level. So I don't know, you can invite these students to take that course. Okay, Miss Maribel, please, if you can do that to Miss Lourdes. Perfect. So and I am happy to teach students with this kind of level, because they mostly know how these structures work, right? So identifying verbs, irregular on regular verbs, is a child's play for you. So, yes, totally the same. For example, David, the verb come, come in present, came in simple past, and come again in past participle. I don't know. The English is broken. I don't know what happened to English. Yes, David. Sometimes the past participle is the same as the present simple form. So don't forget that. Let me teach you something very important, and this is for Latin American people like us. For example, I am from Peru, and I think that most of you are from Peru too. uh, Sometimes we have difficulties pronouncing some words because it is not our native language. So we learn it from a teacher, and maybe this teacher wasn't to a native teacher. So that's how we had like difficulties pronouncing some words. And let me teach you this. Uh, the verb swim, and try to pronounce it with a, swim, 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 is the past simple form of the verb swim, right? Swim, swim. Very good. And what is the past participle form of the verb swim? Can you send it to the chat, please? The past participle form of the verb swim. Very good. Very good. Perfect. 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 I really like it. So, teacher, you are saying that in its base form, el verbo nadar is swim, okay? In past simple, even though it is written with an A, I have to pronounce with a E, swim, yes? And in its past participle, even though we use the vowel U, we have to pronounce it with A, swam. Okay, so don't get confused. Please don't get confused. This verb anda, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Here. Okay. I am going to write it here. I am going to write it here down. Okay. Perfect. So what I am trying to say is that this verb is pronounced with E. Swim. Swim. And this verb is pronounced with A. Swam. So this verb in present simple is swim, in past simple is swam, and in past participle is swam. Okay, don't forget that. Teacher, I think just for only this class use English and Spanish because there are students that don't understand things. Okay, Jover. Okay. Voy a hacer un pequeño paréntesis. Voy a hacer un pequeño paréntesis, chicos, y con todo el debido respeto que ustedes se merecen, permítanme hacer esta aclaración. El curso le pertenece al nivel C1, así que una recomendación para el asistente de administración del tecnológico, me parece que hay otro curso que puede estar más acorde al nivel de algunos estudiantes. Me alegra mucho encontrar que varios efectivamente tienen el nivel C1 que, bueno, me pueden seguir el paso, pero me parece que algunos otros se están perdiendo en el proceso. No habría ningún inconveniente si esta clase fuera quizás de lunes a viernes, pero apenas tenemos una clase por semana. Entonces, el nivel lo indica, es C1, y si yo me retraso con los de B1 o incluso de A2, va a generar una incomodidad quizás a los estudiantes que están un poquito más adelantados. Sin embargo, voy a intentar hacerlo lo mejor posible. Voy a tratar de utilizar español muy poco para que puedan guiarse y si pudieran hacer por ahí las gestiones para quizás, no sé, abrir quizás un salón más dirigido directamente. Por favor, las recomendaciones. Sí, señorita Maribel.
Bien, contador, muchas gracias. Bien, le indico o le hago la invitación a los participantes que sí tenemos inglés en el nivel básico los días sábado de 6 a 7:30 de la noche. De igual forma, en los días, a ver, déjenme un momento, un ratito, por favor. También tenemos habilitado durante toda la semana. Un ratito, por favor. A ver. Ya, ahorita no lo tengo. Lo voy a pasar al grupo, pero sí tenemos dos durante toda la semana en el nivel básico.
Ok.
También en el nivel intermedio también tenemos.
Muchísimas gracias a la asistente, señorita Maribel, muchísimas gracias. Ok, entonces van a compartir con ustedes dentro del grupo información sobre los otros cursos disponibles del tecnológico y los invito incluso a hacer esto un análisis de probablemente sean estudiantes que lo han dejado hace mucho tiempo y como ustedes saben, todo es un tema de práctica, ¿verdad? Si dejo de hacer algo por mucho tiempo, si dejo de ir al gimnasio después de 2 o 3 meses, no voy a pretender cargar lo mismo que hacía en mi prime. Entonces ocurre lo mismo con los idiomas. Nos olvidamos un poquito, nos oxidamos un poquito, pero los invito por favor a quedarse y voy a tratar de hablar lo más lento posible. Pueden incluso activar el subtítulo, ¿ok? Si lo tienen ahí, pueden activar los subtítulos en la parte de abajo del Google Meet para que más o menos vean de qué estamos hablando. For example, when I speak in English, they translate it immediately. Okay? Okay, I am going to use some Spanish for those students that maybe are having problems identifying the structures that we are learning. Okay? Yes, I know it, but let's continue with the class, okay? Because it is a very interesting class. I am so happy because working with students that have an advanced level is interesting. Even though you don't believe me, many people could say that working with basic students is easier than working with advanced students, and not. For me, it's all the opposite. I really prefer working with advanced students because they know some structures, they know vocabulary, they know how to talk, they know how to listen. But when you start working with basic students, you have to have a lot of patience, right? A lot of patience. You have to explain them again and again in order to understand. The quiz was easy. Okay, Osvaldo, wait a minute, and I am going to show you the one of my hardest quizzes, okay? Very good. Let's continue. Let's continue with the next part of this session. We already identify the verbs. Sometimes I remember that when I was a student, guys, I remember that when I was a student, I didn't know that I would be a teacher in the future, obviously, and I didn't like the present perfect. I didn't like the present perfect because its structure is kind of difficult. Its structure is kind of hard. So when I was a student, I didn't pay attention to how the structures of the verbs are. And we only have two big groups, regular verbs, and irregular verbs, and that's it. And I remember that I commit, excuse my words, the stupid decision to say, okay, every verb that I work with, I am going to consider it as a regular verb. So in my mind, I had verbs like, for example, eated. In my mind, I had examples, for example, swimmed. I have in my mind, for example, synced. Okay, and that was totally incorrect. When we learn verbs, we have to learn them one by one. Yes, it's awful. It's horrible to work with regular and irregular verbs because we have to identify them, right? If you don't know the verb, for example, I don't know the past simple form of the verb see. The past simple form or the past participle form of the verb see is sit? No. What is the past participle form of the verb see? Guys, girls, could you help me? That is the simple past. The
Oh,
past participle. Sin. Sin. Perfect. Sin. Sin. Perfect. Seen. Sorry. Seen. Oh my gosh. The verb. Yes, Jessica, podría activar los subtítulos and that is going to make it easier for you. Puede que sea más sencillo para usted identificar lo que estamos hablando. Tiene traducción automática, incluso el Google Meet. ¿Ok? Perfect. Entonces, y permítanme hacer esta parte en español. Cuando yo era estudiante dije, bueno, tengo un 50% de acertarle, total solamente irregulares e irregulares. Le voy a poner ed a cuanto verbo se me cruce en el camino. Y aprendí mal. Tenía en mi cabeza verbos incorrectos como hace un momento les decía eated, swimmed, sit. Todos los que hemos atravesado este camino de aprendizaje del inglés, hemos tocado con pared y hemos visto que es muy difícil aprender verbos, que los tenemos que aprender uno a uno. No hay de otra manera, ¿verdad? No hay de otra manera. Tenemos que aprenderlos one by one. Y eso es lo más difícil de trabajar con el present perfect. Eso es lo más difícil, identificar el verbo en su forma pasada participia. Eso es lo más difícil. Porque aprenderse el pronombre, ¿quién no sabe? I, you, he, she, they, we. Se acabó. ¿Quién no sabe el auxiliar? Y hace un momento me lo demostraron con puntuaciones casi perfectas. Fíjense. ¿Quién no sabe identificar correctamente un auxiliar? Si trabaja con he, será has. Si trabaja con we, será have. Si trabaja con she, será has. Y así sucesivamente. Bastante sencillo. Permítanme un segundito, por favor. Totally right, Hector. Just constance is the best tool that we can have in this situation. Yes, definitely. Nobody, and I am going to say nobody learned English from one day to another day. No, it took me more than 4 years to learn English, and I continue learning English. I have been a teacher for more than 8 years, and I consider that I need to study more. I need to prepare myself more. So, as everything in life, you have to learn, you have to review, you have to check your notes and everything. Okay, perfect, excellent. Now, let me show you another quiz. Permítanme mostrarles otro quiz. El de hace un momento estaba fácil, solo tenían que identificar si era have o si era has, el auxiliar de estas estructuras. A continuación, las cosas se ponen un poco más difíciles. Quiero que me ayuden a identificar la forma pasada participia de cada uno de estos verbos. Right now, you are going to help me identifying the past participle form of each one of these verbs. Are you ready? Let's start. Let's start. Come on, come on. Let's do it. Okay, okay, okay. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. Have you finished? Have you finished? And I am using present perfect. Have you finished? Very good. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, girls. Oh my gosh, a lot of the students has a perfect. Congratulations. Very good. Very good. Claps for you. Claps for you. Very good, guys. So identifying, don't get confused. Everyone has a first place. If you check this, you have to check the scores. And 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now, okay, teacher, we already learned how to identify the pronoun, how to identify the auxiliary, how to identify the verb, and at least, but not last, or at last, but not least, we have to work with a complement. The complement is like the predicado in Spanish, okay? I've always found the verbs lay and lie a bit difficult in order to identify their simple past and past simple forms. Okay, very good. Uh, what is the difference between lay and lie? Lay is when you go to your bed and start doing like this, right? That is to lay down. For example, when you lay down in your bed is when you go to sleep. And the verb lie is when you are not being sincere. Okay, to lie somebody is to not tell the truth. So let's check it. Okay, just 1 minute to explain it. Okay, let me show you this. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, what is the difference between this? Lay is the past tense of lie, and late is the past tense of lay. The present participle of lie is lying. Here are some examples of lie and lay. The lab system needed to lay down after hours of intense data analysis. Okay, the verb lie under this context means to go to sleep. Okay, and the other one, the scientist laid the bakers on the lab bench for observation. So it's the same to take something and put over a surface that is laid. And sometimes it's kind of difficult to identify the meaning, or I mean, uh, inside a sentence or inside a structure, the difference between lay and lie. Uh, the only thing that you have to know, and you are advanced students, context. Don't forget this phrase, context. English is a language of context. So before take um, before you can take the I don't know, the alternative that you consider that is correct, read all the sentence, read all the paragraph in order to find the correct context and choose the correct option. Okay. Oh my gosh, I would like to talk a lot of things with you guys, girls, because you know you have a lot of a high level, and that is very interesting. Okay, so let's start with this, or let's continue with this. The how can I use the present perfect? Okay, first of all, that you have to know, and please pay attention, I am going to need a volunteer. I don't know if somebody can help me reading this, please. A volunteer to read this part. Wendy, could you help me reading the usage, an example of the first part?
Okay, you can listen.
Yes, I can hear you clearly, miss. Can you read this?
Yeah. To express things you have done in your life.
Very
And
good.
the example is, she has never started Japan.
Very good. Thank you. ¿Qué nos dice el uso de present perfect? Lo podemos utilizar para expresar cosas que hemos hecho en nuestra vida. ¿Ok? Puede ser desde que naciste hasta el día de ayer. No se olviden que el present perfect se enfoca en el resultado, se enfoca en la acción, no se enfoca en el cuándo. ¿Ok? No se enfoca en el cuándo, se enfoca en el resultado. Don't forget that present perfect focuses on the result instead of the time where it occurred, the time of it happened. And experiences, as I told you, experiences in your life. For example, I have traveled to the United States. I have visited Machu Picchu. I have eaten suri. I don't know, I have taught English for many years. Okay, that is an experience. Okay. Let's continue with very good, Jover. I have traveled by plane many times. That is a part of Jover's experience. Okay, he traveled many times by plane. Thank you. Let's continue with the second usage of present perfect. Can you help me, Jover, please?
Okay, teacher. The second usage is to express number of times you have done something.
Could you read your...
Example, how many times have you tried to call her?
And actually, your example is related to this part.
Yeah.
Y de hecho, su ejemplo, Jover, tiene que ver con este uso del present perfect para expresar la cantidad de veces que hemos realizado algo. Jover, y pueden leer su ejemplo aquí al último, dice, I have traveled by plane many times. Yo he viajado en avión muchas veces. ¿Ok? Y él puede decir twice, 3 times, 4 times, no sé, la cantidad de veces que quiera mencionar. Pero jamás menciona el cuándo. Nunca se olviden de esto. Cada vez que ustedes utilicen present perfect, no menciona el cuándo ocurrió ese algo. Solamente me enfoco en el resultado, en el que yo hice algo. ¿Por qué, profesor? Porque si ustedes ponen el cuándo ocurrió esa acción, mejor utilicen pasado simple. Okay? I am going to say this in English. If you want to mention when that action happened, it's better to use the past simple. For example, I traveled by plane yesterday. I am using past simple. I traveled by plane yesterday. What I am saying is that would be incorrect if I say I have traveled by plane yesterday. No. I have traveled by plane last month. No. I have traveled by plane when I was a kid. But why, teacher? Because you are expressing a time or a moment that you completed that action. So present perfect is not for that. If you want to mention last year, last month, yesterday, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, in 2020, in 1992, I don't know, it's preferable to use past simple, static, that's it. ¿Ok? Precisamente por eso, cuando yo era estudiante, no quería aprender el present perfect, porque decía, si tengo el past simple, ¿para qué voy a utilizar present perfect? Y no, el uso del present perfect es para mencionar mis experiencias de vida, para mencionar que he empezado a hacer algo en el pasado y probablemente lo continúe haciendo en el presente o tenga consecuencias en el presente. For example, I am a teacher, and I can say, I have worked as a teacher for many years. Very good, Mireya. And we are going to work with that word in some minutes, okay? Perfect. Let's continue with the next use of the present perfect. Could you help me reading, please, Alexandra?
Okay.
To describe recently complete actions which are important now. I have some bad news. I've lost my job.
Very good. Very good. To describe recently completed actions which are important now or that have a consequence in my present. Please pay attention to this example. I have some bad news. No present perfect. I've lost my job. I have lost my job. This is a recently completed action. I've lost my job. And obviously, I am going to have consequences with that. Okay? Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's continue with the next part. David, can you help me, please?
Sure. You can also use the present perfect to express situations that started in the past and are still true.
Very
Example,
good.
I've known James for 4 or 5 years.
Very good. Imagine that James is my friend from university. James continue being my friend. I met him in the university, but we continue having this friendship. So I am going to use the present perfect to talk about things that started in the past and are still true or still happen in the present. I've known James for 4 or 5 years. Okay, excellent. Let's continue with the next one. Mirelia, can you help me, miss, please? Your microphone, Mirelia?
Yes. To describe unfinished actions or situations. I've read half of the book.
Very good. Very good. To describe unfinished actions or situations, and please pay attention to the example. I've read, yes, don't forget the pronunciation of this verb. But teacher, it says read. Yes, but don't forget that we are talking about an irregular verb. The verb read in present simple, in past simple, and past participle are written the same, but the pronunciation is different. It's like color rojo in English, red, red. But teacher, there it says read. But we are using a structure of present perfect. I have. I have read? No. I have read? Correct. I have read half of a book. Excellent. Unfinished actions. I didn't complete reading the book. I continue doing that. I've read half of the book. Let's continue with the last one. David, can you help me again, please?
To express present result. Example, John has missed the bus, so he'll be late.
Very good. John has missed the bus, something that happened, and it has a consequence. So he'll be late. So he'll be late to express present result. Very good, guys. Very good, girls. I really like the way that we are working with this. And right now, let me share this link with you. What you have to do here is to complete these exercises with a correct form of the present perfect. I am going to give you just 2 minutes to try to complete these exercises. Once you finish, please send me a done to the chat. Okay, let's work with these, guys. Let's work with these, girls. Please complete this. And then after finishing your exercises, you are going to help me. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with this. Let's do it. 1 or 2 minutes. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on, girls. 1 or 2 minutes. Wow, very good, Beatriz. Very good now. Very good. Did you get a perfect? Or maybe did you commit some mistakes, Beatriz? No? It was easy, right? Come on, guys. Come on, girls. Let's finish this. Very good. Congratulations, Beatriz. Come on, guys. Come on, girls. Let's finish this, please. Very good, Mirelia. Excellent. Silvia, very good. Perfect. Did you get a perfect? Nice. 100. Very good. No, Silvia. No. Very good, Jover. Number 4. Why? Okay, let's work with this. Let's work with this, okay? Let's work with this. Come on, guys. Come on, girls. Let's finish this, please. Oh my gosh. 100%. Very good.
Disculpe, es que se me había salido cuando de accidente solté mi celular en la mesa, se me había apagado. Por
Okay,
eso
don't worry.
se me había salido. Ahorita acabo de entrar, estaba intentando.
Okay, Jessica, no problem, miss. Let's work with this. Let's work with
Me llamo
this.
Talía.
Okay.
Soy una niña, solo es que se llama Jessica porque mi mamá se llama así.
Okay, Talia, very good. Oh, do we have children here? Do you know that children learn faster than adults? Okay, let's work with with the exercises. What is the correct answer in number 1? It a lot. Could you check your answers and help me, please?
Has rained.
Has rained. It has rained. It has rained a lot. Where is it? Ah, it has rained a lot. Very good. What about question number 2? We haven't played tennis recently. Very good. We haven't played tennis. Oh, we haven't played tennis. Excellent. Number 3. I have lost my keys. I have lost my keys. Excellent. Very good. Let's continue with the next one. Who? Somebody told me that number 4 was kind of difficult. Who has met? Who has he met? Who has he met? Okay. Very good. Let's continue with the next one. Why? Okay, Maria, can you help me? Your microphone, miss? Or do you have a question? ¿Tiene una pregunta, María?
No. Just say hello.
Ah, okay. Hello, Maria. Don't worry. Don't worry, miss. The next one is who, why haven't you called me? Why haven't you called me? Very good. Why haven't you? Oh my gosh. Haven't you called me? Next one. Paul, an accident. Okay, very good. I need your help. I need your help because this is very confusing for many students. Guys, why are we using has had?
Because of the verb, the action.
Okay,
Has
the
is
verb
the
is
auxiliary,
uh-huh.
and has is the verb, the action.
Very good, very good. I remember, recuerdo que, I am going to say it in English. I remember that when I was learning English, I got confused with this. Teacher, I said to my teacher, teacher, why are we using two halves? Has had. Why? Or have had. Why? And my teacher told me that the first half, in this case has, is auxiliary. And the second one is the main verb. Okay, so don't get confused. If you say Paul has an accident, is an action that maybe is happening in the present.
Present,
That's
the present.
correct. That's right. Very good. Very good. Excellent. Let's continue with the next one. Um, my sister has already gone to bed. Okay, very good. Next one, she. Okay, and how do you pronounce this? A volunteer. She. Freya, can you help me, miss? Reading this example, please.
She hasn't read that book yet.
Excellent. The pronunciation of the verb is not read, is read. She hasn't read the book yet. Excellent. Let's continue with the next one. They. For a long time. They have walked. They have walked for a long time. Very good. They have walked for a long time. Excellent. Next one. Where have you been? Where have you been this weekend? Let's check. And obviously, everything is perfect. Everything is okay. Everything is cool. Okay, guys, girls, do you want to learn foreign things? Do you want to learn foreign things? These words that always comes together with the present perfect. What do you think? Yes or no? Let's do it. Very good. I am going to teach you right now, but before that, I would like you to share another quiz. Yes, I know. Teacher, your class is very boring. You always share quizzes with us. But you have to understand that the only way that you can improve in something is practicing again and again. That's why I tend to teach with quizzes to my students. Okay, guys, just for today, just for this session, or that is my methodology actually. I really like teaching my students with quizzes because they can see the exercise, they can solve them, and if they commit a mistake, they check why they were wrong, and they continue improving. That is the only way that you can improve in something. Okay, let me share with you another quiz, okay? But this time we are going to work in groups, okay? We are going to work in groups. So let me share this. Let me share this, guys. Let me share these, girls. Let's start. Okay, we are going to work with, oh my gosh, wait a minute, please. Wait a minute. Okay, let's work with this. Wait a minute, please. Wait a minute. Okay. We are going to work with 8 groups. Okay, so let's start with this quiz, and let me tell you something before we start this. This kind of quiz is different to the other regular ones, because once we start with this link, the platform is not going to allow anybody to log in again. Okay, so you have to log in right now. Lo menciono en español. Una vez iniciemos con la plataforma, cuando inicie el juego, nadie va a ser capaz de ingresar después. Por eso, ingresen todos antes de iniciar el juego. Okay, so please try to log in right now, right here, because if we start a game, you wouldn't be allowed to enter after we start the game. Please, let's log in. I have 33 students, and according to my list, you are more than 75 students. Come on, let's play. Okay, this topic is about present perfect again. So good luck. Okay, come on, come on. More students, more students. Are you ready? No, teacher. Are you ready? Perfect. Very good. Are you ready, guys? Excellent. So as I mentioned, once we start with a quiz, the students that didn't start with us together, they won't be allowed to enter the quiz. Okay. So let's start. No problem, David. No problem. Okay, let's start. Good luck. Okay, let's finish this. Let's finish this, guys, girls. As I mentioned it, cuando se trabaja un quiz en grupo es diferente que cuando se trabaja en solitario. Cuando se inicia un quiz en solitario, después de iniciado el quiz, pueden ingresar sin ningún problema, pero cuando se trabaja en grupos, como lo acabamos de hacer, una vez inicia el grupo o inicia el quiz en grupo, ya nadie puede ingresar después, ¿ok? Así que siempre tienen que estar atentos. Okay, okay, my dear students, let's finish with the last part of today's session. Let's finish with the last part of the session. I would like you to teach the words for and since, okay, because these words are very related to the present perfect, okay? It's very related to the present perfect. What is the difference between for and since is that I am going to use for to express an amount of time, okay? I am going to use for to express an amount of time. For example, I can say, let me show you. I have worked as a teacher for more than 8 years. I have worked as a teacher for more than 8 years. Okay, so we can use for to mention an amount of time. I can say for 1 month, for 2 years, for 20 years, for 15 minutes, for the rest of my, I don't know. You can use for to express an amount of time. Exactly, Sheila. I've been in the class for an hour. Excellent. A precious example. And we are going to use since to talk about a point in the past, and we continue doing that action since that point in the past. How so, teacher? For example, the same example. I have worked as a teacher since 2016. I have worked as a teacher since 2016. Okay, so we are going to use since to mention a point in the past. For example, we can say since 2020, since January, since high school, since I entered a university, something like that. Freya, Miss, do you have a question? Oh, sorry, the microphones. Okay, yes, you can do it now, Freya.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, I was wondering the best way to say, for example, a schedule. For example, through Monday through Friday. How do we say the time? From 7 to 4, or what's the
But
the best
you
way?
want to express an experience, or do you want to express a routine? It depends on that.
In this example, will be a routine. Yeah, a
But
schedule.
we use a different time tense for routines. Present simple. I have classes from Monday
Oh,
to
gotcha.
Friday.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that is the thing that we have to understand, that each time tense has its own yes, its own use, right? For
Right.
example, I have to use the present simple to talk about my routines. I am going to use the present continuous to talk about something that is happening right now. I am going to use the past simple to talk about actions that ended. The past continuous, it's very similar to the past simple. I am going to use it in order to be very specific in the time. For example, I was playing soccer yesterday at 8 o'clock. Do you get it? Very specific.
Okay. Yeah. And to say the days and times of a routine, how do we say it?
But if we want to express a routine using since and expressing a day, I
For
think
example, Monday through Friday, and from 7 to 4. From is it right to say from 7 or
from 7th to 4 to
7 to 4?
express for example, you're talking about your schedule, right?
Yeah, to
Yeah,
talk about that.
and you want to express a routine, right?
Mhm.
So you can say, I have classes from Monday to Friday, and again, from 7 to 4. Okay, that is the only word that you are supposed to use if you want to express a routine. From. Now, since, you can also say, I have classes, I don't know, or I started working at some place since December. So don't forget that you are going to use since to express a point of time in the past, and that you continue doing that classes. Oh, sorry, that action until now. For example, classes from Monday to Friday, from 2. I have classes from Monday to Friday from 7 to 4. Excellent. If you want to express a routine, because you already mentioned it, on a schedule, and on a schedule is a is a chart that we use in order to express our routines, right? Very good. That was a cool question. Thank you, Freya. Very good. To finish with this, guys, I would like you to differentiate correctly these two words, because many students had um, problems identifying them. And the only thing that I can say is, don't forget that for is to mention an amount of time. You can mention for 1 week, for 1 year, for 2 years, for 10 months, for is to express an amount of time. Meanwhile, since is used to mention a point in the past, and sometime, or a point in the past that you continue doing that action until now. For example, I have worked as a teacher since 2016. It's an action in the past that may be continuing happening in the present. Okay, let me check. Okay, Alexandra, very good. You are going to find in some books that the past participle form of the verb go is been. What, teacher? The past participle form of go is not gone? Yes, we know that, but in some books, you can see go slash gone slash been. What is the difference between gone and been? I am going to use your example, Sylvia. He has been to Cusco, and he has gone to Cusco. Teacher, what is the difference between saying been and gone? We are going to use gone when we want to say that maybe that person continue being in Cusco. Excellent, Sylvia. Excellent. And we are going to use then when we want to assume that that person came back to his or her city. Okay? Very good, very good, very good, Sylvia. Teacher, has been and has gone is the same. Depending on the situation, has a slightly difference depending of what do you mean. If you want to focus that the person continue being in that city, it's preferable to say gone. For example, my mother has gone to Cusco. It means that probably my mother continues being in Cusco. And I am going to use then to mention, to try to say that that person came back to the city. For example, I am from Huancayo. My mother has been to Cusco. it means that my mother gone and came back. Okay, very good. Let's finish with the last exercise for today's session. And I am so glad of being here, guys. The only thing that you have to do is to identify the difference between for and since. Okay, for and since is very simple. The only thing that you have to do is, if somebody is mentioned, if somebody is mentioning an amount of time, can be months, can be years, can be days, can be weeks, I don't know. You have to use for, okay? But if somebody is using a point in the past, I don't know, in 2020, in December, on December, last month, okay? If that person is mentioning a point in the past, use since. Okay, let's finish today's class, today's session with this last quiz, and let's start with this, okay? This is the last quiz that we are going to do. Perfect. Come on, guys, this is the last one. This is the last quiz that we are going to do. The only thing that you have to do is identify the difference between for and since.
Where's the link?
Here, miss, in the chat box. Can you see it?
No.
Oh my gosh, what is going on?
Oh,
It's here.
now I can see it.
Okay, excellent, excellent, Freya. Okay, are you ready? Let's finish today's class. Yes, Tiago. Okay, excellent guys, excellent girls. We have arrived to the last time of, or the last moment of today's session. And I am so glad of being your teacher because I can notice that many of you had a good level of English. Thank you so much. But please let me finish today's session with this. I think it's something that El Tecnológico used to do, just doing. And I would like to, or I am going to need a volunteer just to read the last part. Could you help me, Wendy, please? Lord Jesus?
Yeah. You can help. You can listen me.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. Is the last sentence, the last
The
paragraph?
last
Yeah.
part, the last chart. Yes, miss, could you help me with this?
Okay. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this valuable time of learning and for the presence of all the participants. We ask you to allow us to gather again in the next class sessions. In the name of Jesus, Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure to be your teacher today. And I hope to see you again in our next session. And if you have any doubt, if you have any questions, El Tecnológico has my phone number, and I would be so glad to help you in any questions that you have. Okay, have an incredible weekend. Have an incredible Saturday and Sunday. Thank you for your attention, guys. Goodbye. I don't know, Maribel, si hay alguna cosa para acotar.
Gracias, contador. Muy buenas tardes nuevamente y bien. Thank you, como se dice.
Thank you. You're welcome. De nada, nos estamos viendo en nuestra siguiente sesión, chicos. Pasen un bonito fin de semana. Goodbye. Take care.
Sí, bien, estimados participantes, bien, comentarles que la siguiente sesión se va a tratar acerca de los constitucionales. Bien, nos estaremos viendo el siguiente sábado, ya saben, en el horario de 4 a 5:30 de la noche, ¿no? Bien, si tienen alguna duda o consulta, me pueden escribir al siguiente número, que es el 914-76-7009. Yo voy a estar respondiendo cada una de sus dudas, ¿no? Bien, si tienen dudas con respecto al certificado, y en el trámite es opcional. Thank you. Bien, muchas gracias.